So we all here? We all good?
I'm good.
Cool. Alright then.
Much.
So, welcome everyone to the stream follow-up to We Thought About Games Episode 6, Dragon's Dogma. I'm your podcast host and streamer, Sid Menon, and joining me for this back from the podcast are Bohampscious.
Hello.
And Goggalor.
Yeah, I'm here too.
So, for this stream, it says it's going to be a gimmick. And here it is. Meet Captain Grancis.
I can't see him because I don't have a link to the stream.
It's oh yeah, you don't use Twitter, man. Gets me every time. Someone else link it. I don't want to lose photos. I guess that means I said someone else, but the only other person would be.
Oh,
yeah. Because if I do that, then OBS is gonna freak out when I try to change windows again. Anyways, everyone who's watching the stream, meet Captain Grancis. So I mentioned a couple of mods for Dragon's Dogma on the episode. One was the D-Input 8 mod that let you change a whole bunch of things. For example, she can do this. Oh wow, that was some pants right there. I did not expect that to happen. I have never jumped facing the camera before with this outfit. Whoops! I had a bit of a Dragon's Dogma wiki moment.
Oh, you're moving so fast.
Yep. Moving real fast. Check out this horizontal leap. And me falling from that height and not getting hurt. So, the Input 8 mod, I can actually show you what it looks like in game. Tap of F12. So it says fix on there. It does have some fixes, but yeah, it's got a bunch of tabs. You can set whatever skills you want. You can teach your character whatever skills. You can set what augments they have. You can change how fast time passes. Whole bunch of stuff. And also there's an item editor, which I use to get all this stuff because I'm not going to try and find all this or remember where it all is. Yeah, so also because of the concept, I decided to get one of the reshade mods. I mentioned there are things that are like reshade and whatever that can change how the game renders, and this one's a bit more saturated. A lot of them are like more saturated than the game is by default, but I figured with the concept it would fit to be a little more brightly colorful. And also I'm using a mod called World Difficulty that makes the enemies like, well, he said smarter. So far, I've just noticed that enemies try to run away from you more often. And there's a separate mod you need to install if you want your allies to benefit from better AI, because otherwise, what'll happen to you is what happened to me when I just tried to do the Escort Sir Byrne quest, where he walked into the middle of a bunch of goblins and just got beaten to a pulp in seconds, and I couldn't do anything.
So you're not installing, or so you're not running with that mod, right?
I am with World Difficulty because I'm not going to be escorting anybody. I'm actually, and mostly I just wanted to start off here at daytime so I could show off this color, but I figured it would just be simplest to go straight to bitter black.
Pray, speak with me once you've finished preparation. What can I do you for?
So let's go to sleep till night. Also, you might have heard a little shine noise when I talked to the innkeeper. That's the one of the features of this mod is you can make it so that any affinity change when you talk to an NPC is a positive one, and you can even make it so it just maxes out every time you talk to them. So everyone will like you as soon as you say hi.
So precious.
This shadow, shall I? You have. You
Oh, I guess except Aura because you can't befriend her.
But you're friends with the world's tiniest innkeeper, so I thought that guy was sitting down for the longest time.
So, as you can see, the lighting is affected here too. It's a little more drastic. And when I pull out the lantern, it's a little more realistic, quote unquote. But yeah, so I figured we'd just, talk about any other thoughts or feelings we had about the game since the original well, the original recording last year, or just the recording for the episode that came out, which was in January, so it's still a long time ago.
So we can go based off the bad recording or the good one.
Yeah, so I mean, also this is post finding out what Hideaki Itsuno is up to, which it turns out was Devil May Cry 5 after all. And also everyone else on this podcast having played Monster Hunter World to completion. As Bo said, the episode could come out in July, and it did.
Prophetic.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Barrock, what's up? Oh no, I can't. He's too fast. I can't grab him. But also, my jump length is perfect to do this. Oh no!
So as it turns out, it was not perfect to do it. Yeah, it wasn't.
I've done it. I've done it. I'll do it. I'll show all of you. Let me just make sure to jump off the most distant part. No! You know what? I don't need this.
You can just get up there normally.
Yeah, I know, but it's cooler if I do the cool superhero jump. I'll show you all now. Haha. Why on... Did I change my jump length? Whatever. Oh, you know, that's right. I accidentally made the character a little too not buff enough for the look. So I made her a little buffer, so now actually she can't jump as far.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so let's test this out.
Got beefy and that killed your jump.
Alright, so what do we have in here? Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah, let's see. Oh. Okay. That sucks.
Or does it? Oop, come on. Grab on. Yeah. Alright. Yeah. So also I decided my character's max level, but I made the I made it so that she has lower HP than you would have at that level. But you can modify the augments. So I modified the one to oh god. Oh, this is bad. I modified the augments so that the regeneration one heals me way faster. So as soon as I get hurt, assuming I can survive a single hit, yeah, I should be okay. And as I mentioned, the barehanded moveset is very bad in this game.
Pretty bad.
But with this, I can at least do some damage with it. Also, the okay, this is a little too busy for showing off the character. Let me go back out for a second. Also, I don't really want to like this setup. Let's see. Yeah, so here's the barehanded light attack. It's just these two very awkward, stodgy punches. I just punched a snake. And the heavy attack is a single kick. Also kind of hard to aim. Jumping attack is an air punch or an air double fist attack. Though it looks like I'm hitting them with a shield when I have a shield equipped. And yeah, also when you're barehanded, you can use the skills, the core skills for the daggers, so you can roll and double jump. If you equip a sword, you can't do it anymore. Unfortunately, the D-input 8 mod can't change that. And also, yeah, I got the shield, got the maxed out skills for it. I didn't realize there were so many hits for the symbol onslaught because you have to level up fighter to get it, and I never did that.
I didn't realize there were any moves for the shield that were good. Just used it to block dudes.
Yeah. especially this one. Shield Slam is made specifically to make enemies drop their guard. And the B button one, Sheltered Fusillade, I assume is how that's pronounced. So that's a weapon that's a rapid stabbing attack while you keep your shield up. And what I didn't know about that move is you can do it without a weapon equipped.
It's really great hearing you put in a whole bunch of button inputs on your controller, and then nothing happens for like 15 seconds.
What we got? Same thing. Am I carrying the Fiend Incense? I think I am. I should just drop that. Yeah. Because with the item editor, I can just make another one whenever I want, so no big loss just throwing it away. Yeah, I think I'm gonna only do like one of these fights though. What we got? Yeah, not so bad. Yes. Also, my character's jump height is, or like fall distance, is good enough for most falls. It is not quite enough for jumping to the bottom of the ever fall in one go. I could change it, but it was too funny.
It would be pretty funny if it was just like you just drop. This is obviously the PC version, but is this the God version or the Steam version?
Oh, this is the God version, and I didn't use God Galaxy or anything, so that I don't have to worry about the mods setting off any anti-cheat stuff.
Also, the image of you just punching this Cyclops in the shin until it dies is pretty funny.
It's like Hexen. It's playing as the fighter and fist
It is
pumping
like
into
Hexen.
him.
See if I can knock off the tusk without... Oop. As you can see, I'm healing already. Let's see if I can perfect guard this also. Guess not. Yeah, didn't mention in the podcast, but there's actually a perfect guard mechanic for the shield. And if you do it, like if you block just in time, you will reflect damage back at the enemy. Which is kind of like, if you don't hit stuff with the shield, then it's the only way to, like, get any damage benefit out of the shield. So if you're like an assassin or something. Anyways.
You have this, like, I don't know, if you're an assassin, why are you using a shield? Just you can use a bow instead.
Yeah, so you can't unfortunately, like, have whatever skills you want, like it has to be tied to the weapon you're using, but then on top of that you can use any skills, so you could have like Sky Dance from Mystic Knight while using any character class that can use swords. It's really tough to break those tusks off without mounting. So let's do that. Oh no. I should have added the augment that makes it easier to break out of grabs. Whoops. Let's actually go on through Bitter Black now. So, what's up?
Now that we butt punched a couple Cyclops to death.
So, Goggalor, I know you mentioned that you've finally tried out was it a sorcerer?
Yeah, I did that a while back.
Because I remember you had some issues with the condemned Gore Cyclops fighting with other classes.
I mean, yeah, but like it's manageable.
Yeah.
But like as a sorcerer, it's literally you stand above it and you cast down.
Mm-hmm.
Because it actually can't reach that bridge that's on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Despite the fact that its hands can clip through the bridge.
I can bear to see no more death.
You aren't gonna. I mean, like, this is cool, but you aren't gonna handle this the really fun way.
Oh, the barrels.
Yeah, throwing barrels at him.
Kind of thought I'd be able to kill more than one swipe. Guess not. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, your plan was defeated.
I also forgot, yeah, world difficulty makes everything do more damage, so...
I was gonna say, these regular skeletons are doing a lot of damage to you.
Mm-hmm. To be fair, also, even though like all my stuff is Dragon Forge, the Grancis shield is not. It's like an early game shield, very early game. So even for a shield, it doesn't do very good damage.
That thing that every guard wears is shit.
Big surprise.
I wouldn't have known that, considering grinding for points at the end of the game.
My beloved, I had hoped to leave this life held in your strong arms. Farewell.
It's a little weird that I'm guessing that Arisen, who left that message, decided to fight the condemned Gore Cyclops.
Yeah, maybe they got hit by the. That's not a Strigoi. What is it? Is it just called the gargoyle that does the petrification?
Oh yeah, I think so.
One of those is in here, and it's super annoying.
Yeah. Unless you can kill it in one punch. Actually, it's like I did the harpy or the cart escort thing, and man, hitting harpies with bare hand is very difficult. Very, very difficult.
What garden of strange delights is this? What forgotten paradise? What font of endless diversion? The darkness, the stench of
It's
blood.
bizarre seeing you like fall like and not die instantly.
Yeah, you fell more than 10 feet and didn't splat onto your face for more than half your health.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
this actually makes punching the condemned Gore Cyclops in the head, like, reasonable, considering the fall damage in a normal game. If he knocks you off of him, he's tall enough for you to take a lot of fall damage.
Yeah. Feels like some weird old-timey boxing thing to do the sheltered fusillade with no weapon. Honestly, all the regular, like, bare hand moves are just like weird old-timey boxing. Give him the old 1-2.
I mean, shelter fusillade is like you're punching your shield, right? So it's like
No, that's the one where you're supposed to be stabbing from behind your shield, so... I'm protecting my body by reaching my arm out beyond my shield. Ow, that hurt.
Well, everyone knows your fist is harder than your shield. So, you use the mod to get directly to level. It's max level, I would assume.
Yes.
Like, so like, tell me more about this mod, because we've only covered it like really briefly during the podcast, and even then, like what we covered right now has been sort of like a cursory overview.
Okay, so oh jeez. Okay, so the mod, it like the reason I think it would set off the cheat thing for Steam is it hooks into the direct input thing or whatever, which means that because it adds a bunch of hotkeys and stuff. So what it does is outside of the in-game interface is a file you can edit to make all these changes. It lets you adjust like any stats for your characters and your pawn and the pawns that are in your party. So like that's extra cheating.
Yeah, it's a whole cheating.
Yeah, and also the it lets you modify augments, lets you set whatever augments you want to be active that you want. And oh Jesus, oh God. Come on, let's see who wins. No fear, I did it. All right, excellent. Time to not pick up any of that stuff because I can make it. Yeah, it has an item editor for just you need to have an item in place to edit, but once you do that, you can set it to be anything. So you can turn something into a potion or into like bitter black armor, and you can even set like the level of like, is it gold, like Dragon Forged, or is it level 1? You can also change the speed at which you like mine and harvest items. Yeah, and you can change your movement speed. You can change the affinity you gain when you talk to people. There's a couple switches for, let's see. Normally the mouse like kind of makes it freak out. It's weird. Like it doesn't seem to have it's a mouse-based interface, but in a game that switches to mouse controls whenever you do anything with it. So here, you can set up, like the fixed stuff would be like borders full screen. If you click the character customization thing, then if you use the keyboard to select the manual option on the title screen, it'll instead take you to character customization. Yeah, you can make it so you can tilt the camera higher up, make it so it doesn't try to correct when it touches walls, change the weather, how fast you can move, the fall height. The higher the negative, or so I guess the lower the number is the further you can fall. So like the augment that lets you fall extra distance is like an extra, 500, I think. So yeah, it's I think it's normally like 2,000 or something, or 1,000 something. It's set to the default when you use it. And even though a lot of these are cheats, these are specific ones. So share weapon skills means that you can use whatever. If you equip the weapon, you can equip any skills for that weapon, even if it's for a different vocation. Ignore equip vocation is for equipment. I think ignore skill vocation is the one that makes it so, like I mentioned in the podcast, how you have to play a Strider to get dagger skills, even if other classes can use them. This makes it so that you'll learn them no matter what. And then the the outside run type changes your running animation. So mine is set to town animation because there's apparently a different one in towns. I never noticed one, but apparently it's a little more relaxed. And then the plus stamina means also don't drain stamina when you sprint. And then wait is your wait, time is how fast time passes, which doesn't really matter at Bitter Black. But I set it to like 10, like times 10 when I was in Caceres, and like you could see the clouds and the sun move, and like the moment that like Ulra appears on the harbor. You can also set, like we mentioned, those rings to give you higher level skills. The bitter black rings, you can set those to just be the default state. Also, something I should mention about jumping very high is that there's some things that like you can reach by jumping, which they knew you wouldn't be able to get on top of by default anyway. So there's just an invisible wall blocking your way.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So unfortunately, you can't take quite as many shortcuts. There's still a few, but not like as many as you might hope. Let's see. Weapon sets, this is the thing I didn't bother with just because it can potentially crash the game. You can make it so that there's a hotkey in the file, and you can change what it is to make it so that you can press it and you will swap to a different set of equipment. It'll like freeze the game for a short while. It's like 5 milliseconds or something, and it'll swap your equipment out, so you can instantly change that. The mod also makes it so that there's hotkeys to go directly to all these menu options. So like inventory, you can jump straight to map or your journal or something without having to pause. And it's not that big of a delay for me. I never really minded, but it's a good feature to have, I think. Probably should have been in the game.
Hmm.
You can also set port crystal like teleports wherever you want in the world. I don't really know the XY coordinates of stuff.
Oh, it asked for XY. That's pretty tough.
Yeah, X, Y, and Z.
Oh, good.
I mean, I imagine you could set some and then get a general sense for where stuff is, but I don't know. I would just run really fast somewhere instead of port crystal instead myself. Yeah. Stats, change your gold, rift crystals. Let's see if it'll... Oh. There we go. You can change your levels and all your vocations, how much experience you have, what your current vocation is.
So pretty much this is just like a wholesale editor.
Yep. And you can do it in real time. And you can change what skills you know. Also for the item editor, also I'm doing punches because I'm left clicking. For the item editor, luckily there's a filter feature, you don't have to scroll through the whole thing. If you change equipment in it, then you need to hand that piece of equipment to a pawn or put it into storage and take it back out for it to change. Like if you change it while it's in your inventory for some reason, it doesn't like unload it properly or something. Since I'm not using a pawn, I just went into storage to mess with stuff. There's a clock you can have available so you can see what time it is or whatever. It'll stay up on top of the game, and it's in this like interface format, so I thought it was kind of just not pleasant to look at, so I just turned it off.
Yeah, so you can have the clock up so you can see what time it is, so you don't over game.
And then the damage log just keeps track of who's been hurt and who's done what. Which should be pretty straightforward in this case because I'm the one doing the damage. It's me. Also, this is the Dragon Knight helmet. Weird thing I noticed in at least the cutscene I saw once I had it equipped, the one where the Hydra attacks the encampment. The visor of the helmet is down in the cutscenes. It's very strange.
Yeah, I know some helmets have like an on-off state for their visor.
Mm-hmm. But you can't affect it yourself.
Yeah, you can't affect it yourself. You can't just like be like, I want to have this on.
Oh good, my default run speed is faster than the leap worms jumping out to petrify you and poison you.
I hate those things.
Yeah. Also, the world difficulty mod changes some interesting things. It like checks your level and spawns like relevant enemies into the actual world. So we mentioned on the podcast, like, you know, Mihal and I talked about how it would be nice if they seeded some enemies from Bitter Black into, well, here's some Grim Goblins, so there you go. If they seeded some enemies into the world from Bitter Black, I tried the mod out and I was running to... Oh, Jesus, am I gonna die? Oh no, there we go. Alright. Having no defense is tough. Maybe I should change that.
Perhaps.
And let's see. Stats, attributes. Where's my mouse? I can't see my cursor. I can tab through this. Yeah, there we go. Well, I can survive one hit, so let's do 200. Should be a decent enough boost. Yeah, I was going towards Hill Figure Knoll. And there's that tree. There's like a big tree by a spring, the healing spring, and there was an eliminator there.
Oh, fun times.
Yeah, he killed me. Because those things are ready to go as soon as you see them, so I ran right into its hammer attack.
Yeah, eliminators are no joke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's nothing around here. People watching might note that I don't know where I'm going, and that is correct. I actually have not played through Bitter Black before this recording, so it's kind of like a vanilla experience mixed in with the
stupid cheating experience.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, unfortunately, for anyone who watched the Code Veronica stream, that's a game that I had completely memorized, except for a few minor exceptions, which was because I was streaming and.
You were still less effective at cheating than if you were playing the game normally.
Alright, let's see. Oh. I don't know why I got worried about that. That boulder doesn't do anything. What? What was that? Oh. Oh, good thing I didn't get petrified then. Holy shit. Just gonna punch this thing in the dick, I guess. Let's see if I can. Yeah.
I want you to punch that cockatrice out of the sky.
Alright. Alright, let's see if I can. I got a perfect block on that thing, but it wasn't quite clear. Alright, let's see if I can get the perfect block on this one. Should kill it instantly. There we go. As you can see, Sheltered Fusillade also has no range without a weapon.
Even with the weapon, it has pretty poor range.
I imagine if you equipped a longsword, it would still work because it's a shield skill and it doesn't. It doesn't matter what you have equipped. No necrophagus monster yet. That is surprising.
Well, let's see. Okay, so this obviously this character hasn't beat Bitter Black before.
Mm-hmm.
So the only ones that can appear unscripted are elder odors and wards, I think.
Mm. Yeah. Or if you use rancid bait meat. Oh yeah, the gutter.
My favorite. You know it's a cool place to be with all your friends when it's called the Gutter of Misery.
here are some non-enemy bats. Those are just mood bats, unlike the enemy bats.
Yeah, the set dressing bats.
Christopher.
Yeah. It's kind of weird to go back to this game, like, because when I first played Dragon's Dogma, I hadn't played games that were like newer than it, like not like in this style at least. But yeah, it's kind of annoying to see some people come back to it now and be like, I don't see what the big deal is, because like this is something I mentioned on the first recording, and I kind of wish I'd mentioned on the second. Dragon's Dogma is a game that like had a lot of ideas that are in modern games, but modern games didn't take them from Dragon's Dogma. They just like years later are like, oh yeah, it'd be cool if like fighting in an open world game was good.
Well, I mean, sure we talked about it on that recording, but we didn't use that one. But, like Dragon's Dogma was great. It is the most boring look. Like, Bitter Black looks cool. Regular default Dragon's Dogma looks so boring. It looks... It's up there for me with, like, The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion in terms of, like, this is just a generic shit thing.
I mean, to be, like, fair, a lot of the world, like, clearly the game had some holy shit yeah, but clearly the game had some trouble running already, so like however they made it work was too much for the PS3 and the Xbox 360, so I just think it was too big of an idea for the console they were doing it on. Because, I mean, like, Skyrim doesn't have, like... It's got stuff going on, but it also doesn't track a lot of information about individual characters as much. Which, I mean, you know, you could say, like, it's not really a great end in this. But it does track, like, individual affinity levels.
This just reminds me, okay, since you brought up Monster Hunter World, like, since everyone else has played Monster Hunter World, like, I just want to compare this game's PC port to Monster Hunter World's real quick. Because I've been having some issues.
So I've heard.
And, like, they're both games that have, like, a lot of individually tracked variables throughout, like, a persistent world.
Mm-hmm.
What, like, holy crap, how does the PS4 run Monster Hunter World if it's like that? Is what I want to know. Like, because Dragon's Dogma on PS4 runs at 30 frames a second, which is bizarre to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that's a game that was running on the PS3 and the Xbox 360. Not great, but it did.
Yeah.
And it's like, so I want to know what kind of wizardry Capcom is pulling off with some of these games.
Oh yeah, because also Monster Hunter World uses MT framework still, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, everything else now uses the RE engine.
Are you gonna see what happens? Like, are you just gonna punch fight death?
Yep.
Well, what's probably gonna happen is you're gonna slip up again and die.
I mean,
don't count me out yet.
800 health, that'll happen with any games.
My most important hazard is to not jump into the abyss. Whoop, I almost did. Bad move, hombre. I have so many weaknesses, it turns out.
I'm trying to think, isn't Death scripted to leave after taking a certain amount of damage?
He's gone. Yeah.
Yeah. Take 1 bar of health and he'll.
Oh, it's okay though. Got a new friend. So yeah, there's Shield Slam breaking guard of an enemy. Just gonna kick him in the shins repeatedly. Ah, Jesus! It's okay. I got this. I'm good. I forgot, are Elder Ogres the one that, like, go wild at the sight of men or women?
They do wild at
Because
the
it's
sight
the
of
opposite of regular ogres. Because they had already been too rude to lady characters in the base game.
I don't think I can perfect block it. Yeah, I'm dead. yeah, it turns out perfect block is limited based on how good your shield is. So no matter what, you can't perfect block everything.
You know, I'm actually curious about a thing with Elder Ogres. I doubt they programmed it in. But has anyone of us ever tried putting a dude pawn in the lady armor, seeing
yeah.
what happens with Elder Ogres? It's like NPCs don't react differently, but I don't know what an Elder Ogre does. It probably just reacts the way it always would.
If I had ranged weapons, this would be like over.
Yeah, but now you have fists. The least range weapon.
There he goes.
See, you brought up Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion earlier. If this were Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, then you would have the best weapon by default. But because it's Stratus Dogma, it's your fist, and the moveset is terrible.
It's like whenever there's giant skeletons in Bitter Black, there's always like 8 barrels that explode. They know. It's like that's how you should fight them, because it's cool.
Ah, jeez. Ah, I forgot about the bite attack. Oh, that's bad. It's alright though, I'm all healed. No statuses. Oh wow, I didn't know they could do the bite in midair like that. That's weird looking. Kinda want to speed past them, but I don't want them to be around when I fight the Eliminator downstairs. Also, we didn't mention, but the different versions of Harpies all have different songs. Where That was weird. Don't want to bother with the Riftstone because I have not haven't bothered to do anything with my pawn.
You don't need a pawn.
How did that not hurt me?
Should have brought Rook's son on this stream.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so perfect blocking nullifies the damage, but... Wow. 200 defense, baby. Yeah.
You did it.
This is just so, like... This is just comical at this point. Also, it's weird that Bitter Black, or like Dark Arisen, added a ring, a Bitter Black ring, that doubles your barehanded damage when they didn't do anything else to make barehanded better. Like, this is with massively increased strength. I have a shitload of strength right now, and I'm doing this.
See, what you need to do is you need to put indestructible over this.
Hey, I specifically avoided the into free mod. It's back, by the way. I mentioned on the episode I couldn't find it anymore. It's back, but I decided not to use it to avoid any potential copyright problems.
Hey, you need to get the key from one of those side areas. Like one of the side areas, I think it's like another arena. It's not that one. It's the other one.
Oh. Hmm. Where could it be? This is handy, though. Whoa, Jesus Christ. Oh, jeez. Oh, that was unexpected. These things are mean.
Yeah, those things will get you.
Oh, okay. Oh, right, I have the augment that makes perfect blocks a little easier. Now, this is the arena. Oh, what's in here? What's in here? Oh, skeletons. Okay. Oh wow, it's really hard to recover from those combos. Oof, oof, oof. This is not good.
Yeah, Bitter Black Isle will tear you up, is the thing.
I mean, normally it'd be fine, but with the world difficulty mod on top of this, like, this is...
Yeah, see, the thing is, like, the more I see this world difficulty mod, is like, it kind of just messes with it. Like,
yeah, well, their intention was, like, you do something like, you can throw a skull at an enemy and they'll get the curse status effect. They're like, oh, that's never useful, so we decided to make it so you have to use status effects and all your skills and have like a really balanced party to make things work.
Or you know, you can cast spells. Be a wizard. That'll work.
I don't want to mitigate, the work this person did on rebalancing things, but like, it does not seem like a mod for me.
Yeah, there are a couple different like rebalancing mods, but a lot of them seem to want to throw throw in like a higher experience point requirement to level up, and I don't really know why. Then again, I think in conjunction with the D-Input 8 mod, you could make a lot of those work.
Probably, but like, I'm hesitant to install that too, just like how incredibly cheaty it is.
Well, yeah, just get the GOG version. Don't use GOG Galaxy.
Well, see, you don't have to worry about it on God because no one plays that version.
Why are you even opening chests?
I can't remember where the void key is.
Through that door that's in front of you.
Ah. Oh, the one that's marked. What do you know? This game has a map. With features.
Tells you where to go.
Ah, right, yeah. Here's the jump scare curse dragon.
I thought you were gonna be like, oh, right, yeah, maps do tell me where to go.
This is the only room where these fucking guys show up.
In the first one, it might be. I know the, I mentioned in the podcast, the giant white saurian only shows up in one room. I think maybe one of the arenas if you have the fiend luring incense, but then it's along with like 3 dragons. But otherwise, no, it's just, yeah, just the one room.
The amount of weapons I've had to try to, like, enhance over my playthroughs of this game, I always get one that's like, it needs the rare drop from this fire saurian.
Yeah.
Oh, great, I get to kill those 3 guys over and over until I get, like, 4 of these.
Yeah, the white saurian tail, you actually need to upgrade the chilling razors, which are like I think the only ice element daggers, and they're really useful for bitter black because eliminators are weak to ice, but you have to kill those saurians to get it, so it's kind of hard to find. Oh yeah, also in the podcast we mentioned the corrupted pawns because they show up right before you fight the Ur Dragon. But yeah, I never got to mention that. Like, what I like about them is that they're just kind of creepy because they're asking for orders and stuff. Even though, and they're all their Arisens have died in bitter black. It's kind of creepy. I appreciate it.
Pretty neat.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff about this game that I think would just be like if they said we're not like doing a sequel, we're gonna remake the first Dragon's Dogma, would like actually do everything we wanted to do, I would actually be on board for that.
I would be on board for visiting the fucking infinite dungeon on the moon.
And also just like, go ahead.
They make the overworld not boring.
Well, yeah.
That's my main thing.
Yeah. I mean, also there's some things like, I know a lot of people like really dislike how Mercedes' story plays out because she just absolutely can't win the duel. And I mean, like, because the main story is so short, I feel like it would be weird in a game of this length to like have you have a whole side story about training with Mercedes or something. But in a longer game, I think that could actually be like a cool way to make that play out better.
About the option of when you see the Knights champion, just go, oh, it's that guy.
If you can just get him arrested.
He doesn't wear a disguise. He just puts on a fucking like domino mask.
He has a different armor actually, from what I remember.
Not noticeably different.
Yeah, it's a little different.
Like, oh, I'm the one German guy who's in this area. I'm gonna wear my German armor. I wonder who it is.
Also like the how the grab attack for dragons, if they grab a pawn, it's them possessing them, but if they grab you, it's just like, fuck this guy, and they slam you into the ground.
It's great. I don't remember, do cursed dragons actually even try that on pawns? Don't they also slam?
They might. Because they're just the rotted, don't give a shit dragons.
Cursed dragons are a lot harder to hit when you have a weapon that can't fucking hit.
Cursed dragons, like, you know, they only have that one little point. Like, it's smaller than a normal dragon's, like,
Yeah.
point too. So it's like, I don't think Sheltered Fuselage is gonna hit it, Sid.
It is, it's hitting it. Sometimes. Uh-oh. Oh god, that's the breath.
Oh no, the breath that doesn't do anything. Rots your food.
Ah, kicked right in the heart. Yep.
It just spoil all your king wearish, which is bad.
Yeah.
Damn it, I've never had that happen.
Oh yeah, well, because it doesn't age, but...
The
Basically,
waters
just
don't age.
Yeah, basically it just removes it from your inventory. I know, because I went to use it and it's like, oh, I'll just use this king wearish. And it's like, nope, you ain't got one. And I'm like, pretty sure I had like 3 of them.
Like, maybe that's a difficulty thing, because I play this on easy, because the only... It's easy isn't easy in this game.
Yeah.
It's just less difficult. But like, now I get hit by that shit all the time and still have a ton of grasses.
You should say weed.
Got all the dankest weed.
Dragon's not but dangerous.
You're not wrong. Alright, now we can actually advance. Also, yeah, we didn't really mention how Dark Arisen, like, literally reuses rooms, like how this is the very first one again, but it's on fire and darker.
Yeah. It reuses a lot of rooms. It's not... It's definitely one of the worst parts of this expansion, is reuse of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially because it just makes it like, you know, it makes it even more confusing to navigate.
Mm-hmm. Let's see if I can.
But also, yeah, let's see if you can take this particular chunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, and like the worst part is like it does reuse runes, but it doesn't do it that often. So when you notice it, it's way more egregious.
Speaking of, here's another reused room.
I'm pretty sure, like, except for like a handful of unique rooms, like the one that you just left with that tower, like pretty much every room gets reused at least once.
Yeah, because of like yeah, you just come in from like different angles. Wow,
It feels like it feels like the chalice dungeons at times from Bloodborne. Just like we have these pieces, let's reuse them.
Yeah, I mean, there's a real issue of like this game just didn't. It got a decent amount of funding in some respects, but yeah, they definitely had to save some money.
But like, should have done like more Capcom asset reuse. The Morrigan sprite should be here somewhere.
You just put it on like a shield or something.
The foyer from the fucking Arclay mansion somewhere. They've reused that a lot.
Yeah, this is actually, it's funny that you fight the undead knights here because this is the room where you first fight the skeletons going in the opposite direction. But now they've attached the staircase from the gutter of misery. I think this is the way to... Yeah, here's the chapel. Oh no. A cursed dragon, but not really. Because they just have to fight a death pope. Ooh, if I can hit him. If I can just... Wait a minute, can I damage? Might not be able to with my bare hands. Oh, there we go. I can. Oh, crap.
It's just easier to take out the dragon. The dragon has like no health.
Yeah, but you have to kill the Pope thing to keep the fight, don't you?
You do, but like when you kill the dragon, he lands to like
right.
kill it.
Good call.
The dragon has a lot less health, like way less health.
Does it have a... Oh, this one doesn't have a weak spot. You just hit it, right?
Yeah, you just hit it. Yeah.
Right.
And it has like a fucking tenth of the health of a dragon.
The way the model shakes. Oh, that's great. Ah, that's fantastic. Yeah, the yeah, Monster Hunter World, I kind of consumed way too many videos about it. Just like too much secondhand to like want to play it right away. And also just because I'm trying to save some money right now, so I'm trying not to buy as many full price games.
I mean, the PC version requires like some pretty strong hardware. Like even like recently there was a fix release called Special K, and it's like it does help a little bit with the CPU load, but it's still a very CPU intensive game.
Yeah, well, I mean, my computer has a bunch of various issues, despite its, like, specs actually being okay. So, like, even... Well, Tokiden 2 is probably not the best example to use for CPU problems, but even that game doesn't run very well, and I have, like,
Did you
hex
give
core.
yourself a crystal?
Yeah, I thought I did. I must have, like, accidentally changed it. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Let's just... Oh, I remember this one. Nice spells, nerd. Should have gotten jacked like me. Oh wow, this is the first area again.
Let's use it again.
Oh, right. This is the...
This is the room that might be fine or it might be horrible.
Well, let's
How things
see
go.
what spawned. Oh, a guard. Oh, three. Three guards. Yeah.
Yeah, 3 garms.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. This room spawns 3 instead of just 1. The surprising thing, though, is that they spawned here. Normally what happens, because you punch the Lich too quickly for him to summon anything.
Yeah.
But normally what happens is you kill the skeletons that he summons, and they spawn right there with the Lich in that tiny hallway. And it's horrible.
Oh, yikes. Oh, they're surrounding me. Oh, jeez.
Oh no!
They have tactics. It's like I have some kind of difficulty mod installed.
Well, clearly the answer is to start punching very rapidly.
On it. Yeah. Oh, bit me really fast again.
Just realizing I can't.
Oh, oops. Whoopsie daisy. I forgot about the little miasma it spits out.
Oh, oh, dip.
Well, you know what? Well, let me kill this guy really quick first. And let's switch to... Oh, no, here comes enemies. Alright. Here they come. There's that damage. Jeez, this is... Oh, I'm doomed. Oh, this is the end for me. Oh no, I survived.
But it was not the end.
Like that your health regen is faster than the damage from being bitten by a car. So the idea of being like, they have tactics while one of them runs into a wall for 10 seconds.
They have
Oh,
some tactics.
They have tactics. It doesn't necessarily mean they're good ones.
Also like your tactic here of, I will go to an even smaller hallway to fight them.
Ah, crap. Listen, they can't seem to fit through. They can only go one at a time. Oh. What's up?
I said, why don't you mount them?
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. If I'm getting myself a little boost, little upgrade. Let's switch to
I had no idea you were playing as Zarya.
Now we're punished, Captain Grant says.
Oh god.
Oh, wow, it's still summoning the monsters. So now I'm using the Dragon Sagus, Aegis, which is the third most powerful shield. Oh, here they come. Still have 0 defense. This isn't working out very well.
Does not seem that way.
Time to employ my tactics I did when I actually played Bitter Black for the first time and leave.
And equip a weapon. That might
And-
help.
Alright, you know what? Fine. Here we go, Heaven's Key. It's an Ur-Dragon weapon.
I mean, because then you would have, you know, range.
Oh. Well, I died because I took a shitload of damage. It's also, let's give that, the old defenses a boost, eh?
Every time you've
Maybe.
been killed by these guys, it's been by their breath.
Let's do a good 600. Yeah. Oh, my cool stuff's on equip. That's okay.
Just thinking about how, like, every time I've been killed by a Garm, or most of the time, I'm killed by their bite attack.
So, let's,
For a minute there, I thought when you shook that one off, you just killed it instantly.
almost. That's good. It's a little boost as well. It was actually at 8,000 before when I was doing my testing. I'm like, that's too easy. But now that I'm here, it's not too easy. Guess they'll spawn in when I get here. Yep. Let's see what an extra 2,000 attack does. Ah, jeez, every attack. Jeez, this is going badly. Well, it's actually going okay. Actually. I feel like this is a strange... This is a combination of the Phantasy Star Online stream where we were very overpowered, and the Vanquish stream where I was getting my ass kicked all the time.
Finally, we've reached the median.
I wouldn't know about the stream. I'd have to enjoy that game to watch this.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I'll stop.
Nah, it's fine. What is? Oh, right. Enhanced difficulty, so everything's happening. Oh, Maelstrom! There it is! There's the screen disappearing. Wow.
Yeah, I just
Lost.
Just see the screen go black, then your health goes to 0.
Ah, that's it. There it is, everyone.
What's great about Maelstrom is that sometimes it works on the guard. I'll just fly up in the air and then land and be dead. Sometimes it doesn't work though. I don't know why. Like it'll just like they're right at that weight limit.
Yeah.
Where sometimes they'll fly up and sometimes they won't.
Time to give the old HP a boost. How's about?
Yeah.
Oh, it dropped my defenses again because it loaded the save with the stats. That Let's find where my mouse is. No, this is better.
It's better having appropriate health levels for a fighter at level 200.
Look, I thought it would be too easy. I made a mistake. I was wrong.
Just like though you were like maximum health. How about the maximum health you have at like level 30?
It's been a while. Can't remember all the numbers. Am I kind of mathematician? Oh my god, everyone's biting me. Hi. Did you know this game's easier with a party?
Yeah. If you bring a party, how are you supposed to make your challenge videos on YouTube?
Hey.
Great titles like Damon Solo level 1. Mystic Knight somehow, despite being like level 1.
Yeah, one down. Things are coming up, Captain Grant says. Things are coming up, Captain Grant says.
Gonna name your character Thrill.
Alright. All it took was inflating my stats by thousands of points.
I mean, mostly one stat. Stat that allows you to take more than one hit without dying.
The lesson is to always believe in yourself. I think that's all the pawns. Which leaves only one thing to do.
I hope in like 15 seconds you just get hit by Maelstrom again.
You know, can you get back here? Oh, crap. Kind of wondered.
But that like upper area,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
you can get up there.
Is there any step? Oh, okay, there's a staircase. That would, yeah. Alright, at long last, I will see what it looks like to clear this room out. I mean, I know what it'll look like, but still.
Look like first floor, room 1. Except darker and without trees.
My stamina. Haha, your grab attack missed. Who's the idiot now? Yeah, seeing this game with like more part destruction and stuff, especially with how much better they made it look in World, Monster Hunter World, would be pretty cool.
That would be pretty neat.
Because it seems like you should be able to do more, like you should be able to break this armor and stuff off, but you can only sort of do it sometimes. I punch him in the ass. Also, I know the shadows look kind of weird. I'm wondering if this, like, lighting model change has actually made the shadows get messed up. Because they're
Well,
freaking
it looks like the light is emanating from inside of the core Cyclops. Which is not how it's supposed to work. Isn't it great that you get hit and then like they'll still take off like 600 damage? You don't have only 800 health.
Yeah, when you put it that way. So now I'm just bravely jump punching this thing in the butt. Also, I think at the time of recording, I can't remember if I'd even played Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate yet. Because I did finally get around to it, and like, stuff I like about it, but man, sometimes when I get stuck on a fight, I kind of wish I could level up.
I don't know. I feel like this game and Monster Hunter have a lot in common, but I feel like they're definitely very different games.
Yeah.
I guess step away for a minute and I'll be right back.
Okay. this mod is pretty nice, though. I feel like if I replayed the game, I would definitely, like, outside of for the stream, I mean, I would still use the mod. Because, no, it's cool to have all these extra features. Skip all those rooms. God, just jumping around is so, like, it's nice to just fly all over the place. Oh, that's Death's theme. Too far away from him. I completely bypassed Death.
Now choose. Stand against me or speak your wish. Offer your beloved in forfeit, and I shall see your will done.
Alright. And I did bring a weapon specifically for this. So as we mentioned on the podcast, the living armor can't be damaged by physical attacks once you break the shell off.
Very well. If that be your wish, I shall claim my price.
Stop! No!
Whew. All right.
You have been chosen. So saying, the worm pries the heart from my breast. I was made Arisen, known to the dragon, and bound to hunt it. It is a fate I embrace. What use have I for a heart left
I feel it in the marrow of my bones. Some force beckons me beyond. I will make for it, though my body failed along the way.
All right, let's fight the boss.
Here we are at the end. Man, my first run of Bitter Black Owl took me like hours. Like, I want to say like 30 something hours.
Repent the folly of ascribing meaning to the void. Naught shall remain. Fall, molten, and be gone.
Whoops. Whoopsie daisy. Whoopsie doodle. This ain't so good. Oh no. Oh, I have made a grave error. I think that came out faster than usual.
I have raised in wrought destruction. No paths lead hence. Repent the folly of ascribing meaning to the void. Naught shall remain. Dogma fall, molten, and be gone.
I'll also say, even though this build is quite terrible, doing the being able to do these moves with the shield is like, I don't know, it's just kind of nice to be able to have attacks with the shield in a game that are good. Because I tried to make a build like this in every Dark Souls game, and the shield attacking is so slow. It's so slow, and I don't know why.
Yeah, it's... Mihal likes to play Dark Souls 2 as like a dual shield user. And like, I can't imagine that, to be honest.
Alright, fight one by socking him in the jaw repeatedly. And nothing comes of the weird face in his chest.
I see I got back just in time to miss the entirety of the demon fight. How much of it was you jumping and whiffing?
Not too much. Like 40%. Alright, I did it. Oh, there's all the reshade information popping up again.
Oh, Marty McFly did the Master Effect Reborn.
What do you know?
Here, just pump everything to the maximum.
Well, we're gonna need to. If we're gonna go back in.
Like you pump magic, but you're not ever gonna use it.
I feel as if
Let's take a quick nap. Nice. Oh god, I forgot they added leaf worms to this area. These things can petrify you and poison you. Which I don't know why, because they're already annoying. What's the death monster? Oh. Now we're talking. Ah, this is good stuff. I'm trying to think now of like stuff there's a lot of stuff we actually didn't even try to do again in the second recording that we did in the first. Like talking about games that are supposed to scratch the same itch. I don't know. But yeah, I haven't actually played a lot of those games, which is part of the reason why I'm glad I removed it. I own a lot of them, but I haven't played a lot. Oh hey, D-Bag. You missed an extended sequence of me getting my ass kicked.
You want a recommendation of a game that you could play that isn't this? It feels simpler. I don't know, play Hexen. Hexen's pretty good.
You can put 30 processors in your computer and you can play Monster Hunter World.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, Monster Hunter World is the one we definitely mentioned. At least, but yeah, I don't know. There's just, I look at like Final Fantasy 15 and I don't know, it is pretty different, but also the fact that like it's an action game, but you still need to like actually level up. Oh, it's death.
Alright, punch round 2.
Now I'm dead. Just once you finish doing that. Alright. Yeah. Oh. What a nerd. Doing the single punch with Sheltered Fuselage just looks extra dismissive because it's so quick. Like, at least the regular punch has some, like, bravado to it.
You know, the single punch from Sheltered Fuselage looks like... It looks like when you play Final Fantasy 12 like the re-release that came out, and you put the speed on like times 10 or whatever.
Holy shit! No phase 2 then?
Top 10 anime fights.
Whew, well, good thing that got taken care of. Well, we mentioned on the podcast that that's a cool fight, so, you know, you don't need to see it in full again.
We already told you, take us our word.
Let's see now. Oh, great. Man, maybe this should have been the gimmick. I don't need to fight them. Whatever. Also, I'll finally get to fight the second form of Daemon, which I mentioned on the podcast I had never done. I mean, I won't really get to fight it, but I'll get to see it in person. I'm sure it's very hard.
And you know how he flies around and does spells?
Mm-hmm.
But what if the spells were better and he flew around at a higher height and he had like 3 times as much health?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, I remember being like pretty worried when you first mentioned that the second run of Bitter Black was like you likened it to Ghosts and Goblins, because in Ghosts and Goblins you have to do the second run to get the actual ending, whereas in this one it's not really like an ending, it's more like it's just a bonus.
It's got a little bit of story to it, but it's not like the first ending is unsatisfying.
I mean, the first ending is like, hey, you solve the plot, actually. I'm kind of surprised that, like, well, I mean, the spiders in this are giant spiders by spider standards, but I'm surprised there isn't just, like, a big spider boss in this. I was gonna say it would suck if you have arachnophobia, but the spiders in this game already suck if you have arachnophobia because they're the size of your torso. When the wrath of your pursuer, Dad. Okay, bro. Also, I upgraded the augment that increases your knockdown damage. I was hoping it would make it so people go flying when I hit them, but I guess not. it went to all the trouble of starting up the Gore Cyclops fight theme. Though, now that I like compare them side by side, like the Eliminator has almost comparable like health or defense or something at least, which is pretty rough, all things considered. Wait, what was that? What is he doing? You alright, buddy?
Partying.
Is this the true world difficulty? What? Well, I did it. Is there a longer way down that would make me run into death? I'm really trying to kick Death's ass. I've also never beaten Death before. Not so much out of difficulty, but just like...
tedium.
Yeah.
Because he leaves after you take one bar off usually. And he appears randomly.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know some people were not happy with it, but I watched I kind of used Joseph Anderson's video about Dragon's Dogma as a reference point. Because he found a lot of stuff. It's weird, he liked the game, but he had a lot of complaints about it. Like, a lot. Like, if I had that many problems with the game, I wouldn't say I like it. But I don't know, it was kind of helpful to have, like, a point of view of someone who, like, I guess wasn't really... I mean, I guess, Goggalor, you also count as someone who wasn't just, like, swept up in the magic of it or whatever, but...
Yeah, this game's great. It also sucks.
But yeah, it's good to have that viewpoint to compare with. Oh god, I've been missing all of D-Vac's comments. Rift by Crystal, me. Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. They are good jokes. And they're not recorded in the video, so no one else is going to see them ever. Oh. That's not a living armor.
Yeah. Round 2, it's not living armor. It's dragon hubs. Whatever the hell.
It's a frost worm and a fire drake. And a thunder ribbon. No thunder ribbon. Why not?
So they thought 2 would already be too difficult.
I mean, there's a, one of the arenas has a fight against all 3. Oh, okay, he's not dead yet. Did his own attack hurt him? Or did this one's attacks hurt him?
I think they're not supposed to, I don't think.
it's not very common for games to have pink health bars. I feel like they're mostly like red and yellow and green.
Drake has found out how to defeat you.
What's that?
So the Drake has, until then, had found out how to defeat you, which is just never down.
Also, I dropped the music volume for audio balancing reasons, but it is playing the guitar arrangement of the dragon fight theme, which is that's my favorite track for Dark Arisen.
Yeah, I still prefer Coils of Light, but that's me.
And the version with the lady singing over it is pretty good, but I don't know. I guess it's more of a, it's got guitars and stuff in it, but it's more of like a epic fantasy RPG song. Not that like the Drake fight isn't, but it's kind of, I like the spy movie guitars.
All right, welcome to the city of bastards.
the city of pain.
First time you come through, there's literally nothing here. If you leave and come back, there's some enemies, but like round 2 is just like, all right, there's like 2 dragons and like 6 living armors.
Where's your card? Where's your card? There you go. Yeah, I can see how this would actually still suck at level 2, but I feel like it's so hard to find good places to level up in this game eventually, so I feel like I'd dip in here and try and kill like 2 things.
And what you do is you just run straight for Damon and fight him.
That's true.
You just do it over and over again, getting like half a level every time.
God, that sounds
boring.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Because it is boring.
Supple dragon pelts. Sexy dragon scales. Yeah, that's the thing I didn't mention on the podcast, because it would have been a massive diversion from what we were talking about. I remember when I heard Grigori speak during the Deny Salvation cutscene. I was like, oh wow, David Lauder's voice is kind of sexy. It's kind of a hot dragon here.
That is apparently just what he sounds like.
God, I love it when voice actors are like that.
Is this shit, by the way?
God, yeah, that would be absolute bullshit to actually fight. Dark Souls encounter design the Saint. Well, some Dark Souls encounters this is.
Dark Souls 3 encounter design this is.
Is it different colors for the first one?
Neo post-game encounter design. Fight 2 bosses at once.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like, yeah, actually Neo might be the closest relative to this one. Because it's got all these action systems in it, but at one point it's like, no, you need stats. It's like, I mean, technically Final Fantasy 15 works that way, but from what I gather, Final Fantasy 15 isn't, like, hard.
That's really not.
Yeah. Alright. time for the real battle to begin.
Yeah.
The face looks so goofy.
Yeah.
Slave to a broken order. Dare you look upon the truth?
It's me, the truth. Having winking nipples.
The door fatal. Yeah, kind of. So he just levitates like a jackass and throws spells at you. Or he normally throws spells at you. What is he doing?
It's world difficulty. Oh, come on! Come on!
Yes, he got killed by this. Got killed by his really obvious one-hit kill.
Single punch. I just needed time to land a single punch. Oh man, world difficulty.
You got.
He did one attack and you got hit by it and died. Glad that happened.
Alright, time to look upon the truth.
The thing about this mod has made him far less aggressive.
Alright, I did it. Any final words?
Well,
From us or from him?
Strategy stuff is pretty good.
Yeah, stream's gone for about 2 hours.
We've seen Bitter Black Isle in its most abstract.
Wow, they really stretched that death animation out. New lore, it takes him longer to die, actually, than you thought it took before.
Like the idea that that whole cutscene happened while you were in midair.
Did you describe MODOK to J.R.R. Tolkien? Yeah. Yeah, that seems about right. How y'all feeling now, huh? How about it? Do you feel different now that I killed the second form?
The Arisen who brought this place into being. Pray permit me
Nah.
to...
It just never dies, is the plot. Alright, let's head back to Sunny Caster just to wrap things up.
It was scarce eat. I was yet. Pray permit me to help. So, I would take you.
I don't know. There's supposed to be fall damage D-back. There's supposed to be very much fall damage. It's I used a mod so that I can technically fall. Not forever, but for a long while.
Yeah, you came in late, but yeah, it was heavily modded if you couldn't tell.
That explains all the
By the
one-hit
fact that you
kills.
could fucking punch the most powerful boss in the game to death in like 15 seconds.
Oh, I mentioned the invisible walls. Yep, can't get on top of that. I rendered it.
Also, yeah, The run is the most obvious you're cheating thing ever.
Well, I'll run my way to Grand Soren and I can show you dying from fall damage in the Everfall. But yeah, let's wow, this does not deal well with OBS running and the reshade. But yeah, okay, let's wrap up then.
Wow, this looks like it runs terrible.
Yeah, no, normally it runs perfectly. It's just like OBS is driving this thing.
You're not gonna save Renard or whatever?
Is he here? No, I already took care of that. This is just a separate random quest.
WTAG asked if you want to watch Interview with the Vampire after this.
Yeah, probably. Also, there's no police out here. Haha! No law. I gotta get my kicks in before I get to the city, otherwise I will be arrested without any being able to provide any resistance. Also, everyone who works for in Grand Soren is a cop. Anyways, yeah, so I mean, we gave a lot of thoughts on the game before. Yeah, I don't know. I think like the I feel like going back to this game is tough, but I mean, every game that we cover for the podcast, I do recommend in some sense if you have the right expectations. And I don't know. I think this game is like weird enough that it no, don't think I am. But yeah, it's weird enough that I still think there's like appeal to it. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I still would play it, like, for sure. It's one of those games that has like a certain charm to it.
Goggalor, how about you?
You should play Bitter Black Isle.
I was waiting for you to be like, you should play Hexen.
You should play Hexen. It's rad. Hexen goes from start to awesome in about 5 seconds. This game, you gotta do a boring tutorial part where you play some schmuck who you don't know, and then you get to like look at a naked person while you design your character for like 15 minutes. And then you wear a really ugly shirt in a cutscene where you stab a dragon ineffectually. And then you wander around a boring world for like 50 hours and then you beat the game.
Never let it be said that we thought about games doesn't have opposing viewpoints presented on our podcast.
And the dungeons are cool. The quests are cool. But just look at this. You're going around in like some fucking road in a canyon. Attempting to punch birds.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest though, especially after playing Dynasty Warriors 9, where like, you know, there are a lot of complaints about the open world in that game being pretty empty. I'm not really sure what I want out of open world games.
Fast travel. That is good.
Oh, well, shit, Dynasty Warriors 9 has that. You can fucking fast travel everywhere. They did a patch on the last day I played the game.
If there was anything that was good about Dynasty Warriors 9 directly from the beginning, it was probably the fast travel.
Yeah, they actually did a patch that, like, tripled the amount of fast travel points, by the way. Also,
you fast travel into, like, individual arrows? What the fuck?
You got... Because, like, when you go to a city, you can now fast travel to specific spots in the city.
See, this run really does make the open world more tolerable because it's so fast.
Well, there you go. If you agree with Goggalor that the open world is boring, just get the D-Input 8 mod and sprint at top speed.
How's the day find you?
It's more that, like, my experience with this open world has inevitably been soured by the fact that the first version of the game I played was the original release. You didn't get the Eternal Fairy Stone.
Mhm.
Anytime you wanted to fast travel, you had to pay like $1,000 to do it.
Alright. There it is, the Flame Servant's Throne. A thing that is never explained as to why it's called that. Here we go. Oh, I lived! Well.
Hey, you lived because you didn't have 900 health.
Alright, I think that'll about do it for this stream. It was a good mix of me overpowering stuff and also me getting my ass kicked, which are two of the three things that I do the streams for. I mean, this is supposed to be informative, but we were pretty in-depth in the episode, and I don't know. I had fun.
We were supposed to be informative. You should have told me that.
I think we.
I would have talked less about Hexen.
But I think we were pretty comprehensive in the episode.
Yeah. I mean, the rest you can just draw from playing the game yourself, I think, or daring to look at the wiki not at work.
And you should play. You should play this game and also play Hexen at the same time.
Yeah, get one of those one input, two games things going. I'm sure it'll work great because Hexen uses like a third of the buttons. Alright, so that'll about do it. The next episode, I don't know when I'm going to get around to it because this took so long. It took a very, very long time, and on one hand, I wasn't always working on it, but I kind of always knew I should be working on it. But the next episode, no matter what, will not take as long whenever I finally do it, because I've decided on it, and the next episode is going to be about Gundam Battle Assault 2.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I figured a fighting game would be pretty snappy. I haven't seen like any discussion about it outside of like, people doing funny YouTube videos for it, so...
I was wondering who you're going to pull in.
I have someone already.
Gundam Battle Assault 2.
I have a guest already picked out who said they were interested, so I'll put the call out and maybe see about getting a third person, but also I could save time by just having two people talk for less time. We'll see what happens. Y'all will know. So should about do it for the stream. Thanks everyone for watching, and keep thinking. Good night.
Yeah, later.